Good morning, everyone. If April showers brings May flowers, what does May snow bring? And a happy Mother's Day to everyone for tomorrow. All right, today we're going to go over Tai Chi. We're going to start off with the horse stance. We're just going to hold this for, well, you should work up to 5 minutes. I'm just going to hold it for about a minute or two, if that. I'll talk a little bit about what Tai Chi is all about. As you know, Tai Chi is mostly done these days for health benefits. And there is a lot of good health benefits and scientific evidence that back up the fact that Tai Chi is good for your health. I'll just talk about that momentarily while we continue to stay in our stance here. One of the health benefits you get is from the deep diaphragmatic breathing. You breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Your mouth is closed and the tongue's on the roof of your mouth. And you belly breathe. You fill the lungs completely up. The lungs are teardrop shaped, and at the bottom, that pushes the diaphragm down. And what happens there is you massage your internal organs. That increases circulation and improves the health. Not to mention the deep breathing also helps oxygenate your blood. That's really good for you too. The other thing it does is it puts you in a meditative state. Let's go ahead and switch to our second or our third temple stance. Been here, you've already had this. All right. So when you get into that deep meditative state, what that does is help relieve stress. And of course, stress is also another one of the number one causes of a lot of health issues that we have. So if you can take care of that and do something that physically improves your physical well-being, that's a real plus. That's one of them. That's what Tai Chi is mostly known for now, is its health benefits. You have Harvard Medical School calling it medication in motion. A lot of people call it meditation in motion. Go ahead and switch to the other side. It's also just a good exercise program to start getting you into other things. It's a good warm up before exercise. It's a good cool down after other exercises you may do. But it's also a martial art. That's what originally it was. This goes about it differently than a lot of other Chinese martial arts. The stances are the same, but everything that's done above the waist is different. All right, everything we do above the waist is just slow with a minimum amount of effort. And our movements is tied in with our breathing. Back to the front. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to get into our forward stance. And practice a little movement with that. 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3. This is the stance we use excuse me, the most of in Tai Chi, the forward stance, and obviously when we move forward and down line. So half moon step, 1, about shoulder width apart, 2, 3. Then we can reverse. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some hand movements to this when we usually do the form. And this is going to be like right out of the second set. We're going to start with right now, our right forward stance. My right spear, I'm going to switch to my left spear hand. I'm going to pat down block as I step and strike. Pat down and strike. And I'm going to switch my hands, and this is going to be called propelling the monkey. Turning the hand over, coming back, striking, strike. Hands again. Pat down, strike towards center line, pat down, strike towards center line. One more. Then reverse. 1, 2, 3. All right. So that's a couple of movements right out of the form, but that gives us the practicing of our movement, our footwork. Going in a straight line, down line, and then backing up. The next variation we do out of here is a combination of stances. From our forward stance, we pivot, come up, empty stance, step out, L stance, shift our weight, and we're back in our forward stance, pivot, come up into our literal cat stance, step out into our L stance, pivot, step, cat stance, L stance, forward stance. All righty then. All right, so the hands that go with this is from our left L stance. All right, for my left forward stance, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna step into my cat stance. My left hand's gonna be at my waist. My right hand up here by the ear. I'm gonna start my back of my hand. This is called a double brush knee step. Then I'm gonna come around and strike. That up. 1, 2, strike. This is the double brush knee. This is right out of the form. This is actually right out of the first set. All right, again. Left forward stance. Left cat stance. Double brush knee. Strike. Double brush knee. Strike. Pivot. Cat stance. L stance. Forward stance. Okay. One of the next movements out of here is the step behind. So I'm in my left forward stance. What I'm going to do, this is the 12 o'clock. My right foot's at the 4. I'm going to step behind to the 7, and I'm going to turn around. So I step, pivot. I'm in my forward stance, same direction. I'm going to step up to my left forward stance, step behind with my right, unwind, back to where we started from. Left forward, step behind, pivot, left forward, step behind, modified twist stance, basically. Unwind and back facing this direction. Now the hands that go with this, we set out a separate tape on this, is known as Fair Lady Works the Shuttles or Four Corners. You'll see why. So my feet, though, are going to be running parallel with straight forward here. But my hands is going to be this. This is going to be an overhead block. There's going to be a palm strike, and it's on the 45. So I'm going to block up, strike, then I'm going to step behind, block, strike, step forward, block, strike, step behind, block, strike, step forward, block, strike. All right, let's do that one more time here. All right, so that's Fair Lady Works the Shuttle for Four Corners. Like I said, we've sent out a tape on that, something to practice. This is out of the third set. So again, we'll just start off with our left forward stance. It's going to be this overhead block and this palm strike. The fingers are actually pointing straight out to the, it's vertical, horizontal. The knife edge is horizontal for the strike here. Step behind, pivot, strike. Step forward, block, strike. Step behind, block, strike. Step forward, block, strike. Okay, so that's Fair Lady Works the Shuttle. A couple of the other things that we do with the stances, done the step behind there. You can do the step behind from, in this case, let's say we're going to do the right forward stance. Now my back legs at the 12 o'clock, this would technically, well, be off the clock. But anyway, we're going to step behind, pivot, pivot. So that's, you can step behind with the forward stance from the right forward stance with the forward leg. And really all you're doing is just changing direction. With the step behind of just the back leg, if you didn't take that forward step like you do with Fair Lady Works the Shuttles, you just see it to move down the line. You do that. The reason I bring this up is it's just a lot of the footwork is dictated by which direction you want to go, where you want to end up, what you want to do. And then we add the hands to it. All right. So that's the stances. Other than, let me just show you two other little quick ones. We're in our horse stance. If we shift our weight by 75 to 80% of the way we put our feet, 45-degree. This is known as a bow and arrow stance. Shift, 45-degree bow and arrow stance. Most of the weight's on this front leg. What you're trying to do is not rise up. You're trying to stay level. Do the shift. That's the bow and arrow stance. Okay, let me grab a quick drink. Talking a lot. Get a little thirsty. All right, so now what we're going to do is just going to loosen up from head to toe. Then we're going to do some qigong, some breathing exercises. And then what we'll do is we're going to do the first set of the form. We'll see how much time you have left. And then we'll just do a, working on maybe the most repeated move in the form, which is grasp the sparrow's tail. There's a floor exercise. All right, so loosening up from head to toe, shoulder width apart, we'll rotate our head. Now, if you have neck issues, don't do this. Some people kind of freaks them out. I've been doing it for 30 years. I miss it when I don't. Rotate around. I tried to modify it, but my neck hurt. Now, shoulders up and forward. And the arms just totally relaxed. Breathe in and exhale. Now, the breathing is, like I said, it's going to be what's key. Tai Chi. Breathe in, out, slow, and your movements are timed with your breathing. And that's what you want to do. And the cat wants back. Okay, anyway, we'll get through this somehow. I reversed or not, I was distracted, but we'll reverse. All right, horse stance. We're going to bring our arms in together. We're just going to roll them down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Reverse. And sit. All right, now we're going to roll the hips. Reverse. The ankles. And sit. All right. Horse stance. Just going to swing the arms up. Breathe in. Exhale down. Arms up and exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. One more. All right. Now we're going to do some chi tapping. Shoulder width apart. Hips. Thighs. Shoulders. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Tapping the back of the skull, cover your ears, middle fingers, 12 times each finger. Stump, 12 times. Yeah. Chi balance. Left hand at the navel, right hand at the throat. Big breath in. Reverse the palms, exhale and press up. 1. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. All right. Let's see. Next one's going to be another chi balancing exercise. Left, right, up. 1, 2, 4. All right. Where are we here? I guess what we're going to do now is 3 deep breaths to the front. So stand up here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath, back, and we come forward, grab your elbows. You can exhale 3 times, but don't bounce. Go down low. Through the mouth. Throw the hands back, come up, and down. Down. 5, and 6. All right. All right. Last week I went over the quick meditation, just up and down the front. Today, I want you to imagine, we're going to change it up a little bit. Just imagine those 5 points, the navel, the xiphoid process, the clavicle notch, between the eyes, top of the head. Well, the 5 points between the eyes, imagine that at the back of the head. Clavicle notch at the back of the neck. The xiphoid process coming through the middle back, and then the navel is in the small of the back. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to imagine rolling our chi around our prime meridian. So, from the meditative stance, we're going to be in our horse stance. We're going to clasp our hands. We're going to like stick our thumb on our navel, and we're going to have our hands over our dantian. So now we're going to imagine our chi flowing between our legs up to that back point, then to the middle back, to the neck, to the top of the head. When we exhale down, it'll be between the eyes, the clavicle notch, the xiphoid process, the navel. Yeah. All right. So imagine that. We're going to close our eyes, but not completely. We're going to breathe nice and slow, diaphragmatic breathing, fill the lungs up. We're going to visualize pulling your chi up along the back to the top of your head, back down to your dantian. We're not going to do this very long, but I want you to get that visualization going. Yeah. I'm not going to do very long. This is just simply on a standing meditation. The next thing we're going to add to is we're going to do chi grounding through the bottom gates, or the two gates here, two gate chi ground. So again, I'm going to imagine that, I'm going to visualize that chi coming up my back, down my front. It's going to come down through my legs and out the bottom of my feet, the center of the soles of my feet. So again, I'm going to have my hands here. I'm going to breathe in, this deep diaphragmatic breathing, slow, deep. Then I'm going to exhale down, drop my leg down. Breathe in, going up the back, back down the front, down the legs and up. That's two gates, chi grounding. Now we're going to do four gates, chi grounding. And meditation isn't like, you're daydreaming, your mind's wandering off. Meditation is being totally focused in the here and the now and the present and what you're doing. So we're focused on our breathing. We're focused on visualizing our chi moving through our body. That's what meditation is. So 4 gate chi grounding. I'm going to bring my hands, palms down, about waist high. I'm totally relaxed. And I'm going to visualize not just forcing out my legs, but coming as I exhale down, going down my shoulders and out the palms of my hand. Visualize that. Begin. 4 gates. All right. Now what we're going to do, let's clear my throat, is we're going to do what's known as chi gathering. I'm going to form what's known as Tai Chi hand, Tai Chi sword hand, actually. It's a lot like Tai Chi snake, if you've ever learned the snake, which kind of looks like you're doing that gun thing when you were a kid, 2 fingers out and you get the thumb. laying along those fingers. These two fingers are folded back. All right, if you were ever a Boy Scout and you learned the Boy Scout salute, excuse me, that's basically what Tai Chi sword in hand looks like, although it's not tense, your hands relax. So we're going to have Tai Chi sword in hand, we're going to do Chi gathering. So, tickle on my throat there. All right, so my hands are here at my waist, palms are up. I'm going to breathe in, my arms are going to swing up and around. Palms are going to be facing down, down, roll, inhale, exhale. Gathering Chi. Okay, that's the meditation. Now what we're going to do is another breathing exercise. Let me grab another quick drink here. It must be. Okay, so now we're going to do another breathing exercise. Notice 3 to the front, 3 to the left, 3 to the right. And then we're going to go into the first section right out of that. So we start off with shoulder width apart. Breathe in, our arms come up. Drop down, palms facing out. Hands are going to come in. Roll. Big exhale down. Breathe in, coming up. On the outside of our legs, and we're going to exhale down to the inside. Cross the knees. Exhale. Up. Exhale down. 2. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Up. Exhale down. Go to the right. Come up. Drop down. Stays the same. So get to here. Turn. To the left. Up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Left. Back to the front. Come up. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to go to the right. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. 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 2. The third one. Here. Right into the form. I'm just going to go through the first set. I'll call out the moves because some of them may sound familiar. Excuse me. So come up, drop down, preparatory move. This is called holding the moon, diagonal flying. On guard, grasp the sparrow's tail. Close the door. Pull. Set up. Single whip. Pivot. Golden rooster stands on one leg. On guard. Flaps its wings. Rush knee. Play the loop. Down the side. Rush knee. Strike. Right rush knee. Strike. Left rush knee. Strike the corner. Play the loop. Across the side. Down the front. Left rush knee. It's going to be a pat down. Heel step. Parry. Gather up. That's the first thing. All right. So, what we're going to do now here is catch our breath. And what we're going to do is that one move, grasp the sparrow's tail, that we did this right out of the first form. It's actually done 9 more times throughout the form. So it's done a lot. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on it in all 8 directions. And then if we have time, I'm going to show you the 2 moves that always follow grasp the sparrow's tail. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start off with, I want to get into basically my empty stance. So if I'm in my forward stance, I'm just going to pivot. I'm sure I get myself in. Pivot, I'm going to come up into my empty stance, and I'm going to do the on guard. So my arms are going to swing around, they're going to come in, and then they're going to sit down on center line. I'm going to step, reach around, my right's coming to my waist, my left's coming up and forward, grabbing the wrist, elbow. I'm in a forward stance. Grab, turn, pull down, rocking my weight back, forward. This is what gives me power. Pulls back, push. All right, now I'm just going to pivot on a 45. My hands are going to come around to the on guard. And now I'm going to do this on the 45 degree. Step. I'm in my L stance. Reaching, waist, shoulder, grab. I bring that hip around. Now I'm in my forward stance. Wrist, elbow, twist, rock my way back. Ride forward, block strike. Open and close the door. Pivot this foot now on 45. Come up. Hands, oops, went the wrong way. Come up. Drop down on the on guard. Step. L stance. Forward stance. Wrist, elbow. Open and close the door. Pivot the foot on a 45 again. Hands come up. On guard. I'm on the 45. Step. Wrist. Elbow. Twist and pull. Block strike. 45. Now take the back wall. On guard. Step. Wrist. Elbow. Push. Block strike. 45. Hands come up. On guard. Step. Grab. Pull. Push. 45. Again. Around. Right back where we started from. Wrist. Elbow. Pull. block strike, open and close the door. All right. Grasp the sparrow's tail. It's a floor exercise that we've doing all directions. So now this particular, like I said, this is done 9 times throughout the form. And every time we do it, it's followed by the same next 2 moves. Those next 2 moves are a double pull and a single whip. So from the end of grasp the sparrow's tail, where we're in our forward stance here, and we've opened and closed the door. What we're going to do is it's going to be a double pull. So I'm reaching out here. Usually, let's see, if I'm on the 45 here, or I've pushed it, I'm reaching out, so about another 45 degrees. I'm grabbing another wrist, and I'm coming up here, grabbing the elbow. And I'm just going to pull, guiding somebody away. Blocking, grabbing, and guiding it away from me. And in this case, when I'm on this 45 here, this forward stance on the 45, I'm grabbing, pulling, and I'm just shifting my feet into the horse stance as I guide them away. And I'm coming from here. This would be, what would this be, like about 70 degrees? Whatever it is. From facing you forward to facing all the way to the left. So I'm pulling. Once I get here, I'm going to switch my hands position and I'm going to pull back. That's known as a double pull. So from the 45, this way. Start this way. So I'm on the 45 here. Open and close the door. I'm grabbing, I'm reaching out here, grabbing the. I'm doing it all wrong, dude. This is backwards. Okay. So out here, I'm grabbing. So if I'm on my 45 here in my forward stance, this is the first way we do it when we do grasp the sparrow's tail in the first set. I'm going to reach out from this 45 to straight in front of me with my left. Thumb down, wrist, elbow, and I'm going to pull, wrist, elbow, pulling, switching, called the double pull. 1, 2. From the open and close the door, wrist, elbow, pull, time. So open and close the door. And when we do that open and close it, we're rocking our way back, pushing forward. Left, right, shift and pull, switch, pull. From here, we're going to do the single whip. I'm going to slide in. The footwork is this empty stance. I'm going to step out. It's going to be a bow and arrow. All right? So, open and close the door. Pull. Set up. Now, from here, the hands. Can't see this hand. It's going to form a crane hand, which is this. It's going to come around past my heart, up, and it's going to be a strike. So, setting up here, this is going to come around, this is going to be a strike. So I've done my double pull. 1, 2, set up. This hand's going to come around, and it's going to be a strike. This hand's going to come from the left side of my face, around, and then down line. Both hands are going to be moving at the same time, and I'm going to be stepping into the bow and arrow stance. So we're doing like 3 things at once. Let's take it from the double. Finish off with grasping the sparrow's tail. In this case, on the 45, right forward stance, open and close the door. Wrist, come in, elbow, shift and pull. 1, 2, empty stance, set up. This is the side of my head. This is up here. Hands roll around to here. Once this gets to the heart, step out, 3 things at once. Actually, it's more because there's breathing involved there. We don't worry about that right now. So that's the double pull, single whip, grasp the sparrow's tail. Those three things. Put them together, work on it. If all you work on is just pulling out this, grasping the sparrow's tail, double pull, single whip, and you get that down where it's nice, smooth, and perfect, you're on a long way of learning the whole form. Because there is a lot of repeat moves. It's just a matter of how to put them together and where they go. Now, there's a lot of, I've sent some tapes out that use a lot of these different moves throughout the form. If you start working on those, when we get to it, when we're teaching like we did when we did the first set, you begin to see where it all fits together. So one more time, I'm going to go over this. Basically one of the first ones we emphasize: grasp the sparrow's tail, double pull, and single whip. And in this particular case, I'm just going to start off on a 45 a cat stance. If my hands are on the on guard. Okay, so I step. I'm going to reach, wrist and elbow. I'm grasping the sparrow's tail. Rock back, drive forward, open and close the door, double pull. There's that double pull. Single whip. That's it. Work on that. All right. All right. So facing the back. I'm in my on guard here. So I'm going to come around. I'm in my on guard. Step. Wrist to elbow. Rock back. Drive forward. Set up. Single whip. All right, one more time. In my on guard. Empty stance. Step. Forward stance, wrist elbow. Rock back. Drive forward. Pull back. Push. Double pull. Set up. Single whip. Deep diaphragmatic breathing when you do the moves. So we'll go over the breathing a little bit next week when we get together. So for now, just practice this. Work on this. Grasping the sparrow's tail, double pull, single whip. You'll be a long way. There's other tapes out there like the brush knees and four corners and that kind of thing. But work on that too if you get the chance. Work on your smooth movements. Obviously, there's tension below the waist. Your legs are holding you up. As I said before with stances, lower is always better. If you're still sheltering in place, what else you got to do? Take the time to do it. Okay, and yes. And so keep practicing. Hope to see you soon at Sequoia again. And happy Mother's Day.